Ciao Juventini, welcome back to the JuveCorner cast. It's your daily news show, and of course we have lots to talk about, including Cambiaso to Manchester City links again, guys. Again, I can't believe that this is happening because Cambiaso is one of my favorite players. But before we get into it, make sure to like and subscribe, push notifications, of course, guys, for more content like this and more daily shows. And you already know the drill. My name is Gio, and I got all of your Juve news right now. And yeah, guys, Cambiaso to Manchester City links again, guys. The agent supposedly brought this out with Cambiaso. I mean, what can I say, guys? I mean, listen, I like Cambiaso. Cambiaso is probably one of my favorite players to join Juventus and to also perform at Juventus as well as a fullback. But I think if the player really wants to go to Manchester City, we might as well, especially for the right amount. It depends, right? 60 to 70 million supposedly is the offer that's going to be made for Manchester City. So, and Juventus is intrigued to, to take that offer. So it's really up to Cambiaso at this point. But and listen, Cambiaso already said that he wants to stay at Juve, especially after the whole Mota drama, situation that we had when we had him. But I think with Cambiaso, it's gonna hurt again if he does leave, guys. Because supposedly the management, right, Elkan in general wants a Italian Juve. Well, you don't just sell one of your best Italian fullbacks, to Manchester City and say that you want to build an Italian Juventus again, right? So it doesn't really make sense to me in parts of the management. I don't really know what Giuntoli is going to do in this part because we don't even know if Giuntoli is staying, which is the big key here as well of unlocking the Cambiaso also situation is if Giuntoli will also stay, and also will Juventus take that offer from Manchester City. I think also depends if we get Champions League as well. I think that's also a point into that. But I think in terms of the offer, I mean, 60 to 70 million is a lot of money in terms of financially for Juventus. But man, Cambiaso, it would be a huge loss for Juventus because who would we replace him with, guys? And I want to know in the comments, who do you think should replace Cambiaso if he should leave Juventus? Because at the moment, I really don't see anybody, that could replace Cambiaso that's or even as good as him, really at the moment, in terms of the transfer market. But I think going forward, I mean, listen, if Cambiaso wants to leave Juventus, the door is there. I can't, we can't let him stay. We can't force him to stay if he doesn't want to stay. So I think in terms of what Juventus needs to do, I mean, they need to reevaluate, of course, in summer if we get Champions League, of course, if we can afford to keep him as well. And see who are the other options. Because in my opinion, if there's no other good options as a fullback that could really replace Cambiaso, then I say that we keep him. But of course, if the player doesn't want, if wants to leave, then okay, then we take the money and we search somewhere else. But of course, I think in terms of the Italian Juve, I just don't see what the idea is from the management in terms of building that identity back, right? In terms of the Italian Juve. But of course, I just want to see Juventus become great with the Italian players as well because we need to also do well with the national team because the Italian national team hasn't been as the same as well, especially because there hasn't been as much Juve talent because we sold even Fagioli, we sold a couple of these players. So definitely, if we lose Cambiaso, it will be a huge loss, unless we could find a replacement. But it's doubtful right now that we could find a replacement for him. That's why, in my opinion, of course, I want him to sit. But of course, guys, let me know what you guys think about Cambiaso. I mean, Cambiaso is going to be a huge, of course, for next season as well for Juventus in terms of challenging for the Scudetto for sure. Especially if we keep Tudor, if he does well, Tudor, I think could be a good option for Cambiaso to really grow under, and as well as Conte. If Conte comes, you can make Cambiaso really great. I mean, great, because we all know how Conte is when he manages teams. He gets the best out of the players. So I think in terms of Cambiaso coming to, going to Manchester City, I just hope not, guys. I really hope that he doesn't leave, but you already know the drill, guys. Of course, let me know in the comments what you think. If Cambiaso should leave or should he stay at Juventus? And let me know if you would take the money or would you just reject the offer. That's it for your, of course, your news break, guys, about Cambiaso to Manchester City links. I mean, the offer's there, 60 million or 70 million. So let's see what happens, of course, guys. Let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao, ragazzi.